You're listening to another episode of the Coaster101 podcast. I'm Andrew Stillwell, and something you may or may not know about me is I am an alumnus of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And I graduated far too long ago, loved my college years, loved going to sporting events, loved joining student organizations, and I found these guys on LinkedIn earlier this year or late last year, however that works, who started a student organization at Carolina that I wish existed 16 years ago when I was a freshman. I just turned to dust saying that, but I have kind of befriended these guys. I want to help their club continue to build some notoriety. It is a first year club, but they've started a TEA chapter, a themed entertainment association. I believe it's TEA Next, which is their college campuses, but they've started a chapter at UNC. So I wanted to talk to them about that. And then also I wanted to, they had a really cool opportunity that I kind of helped facilitate a little bit with our friends over at Carowinds. Got to attend their first media day. We wanted to talk about that. Rip Roarin Falls, of course. I'm going to say that 100 times and still screw it up, guys. But Rip Roarin Falls coming to Carowinds next year. Had the announcement a couple weeks ago. Want to get their thoughts on it, but I will go ahead and bring them in right now. First, I'm going to welcome in Jax McGuire, who is co-president of TEA at UNC. Jax, welcome to the Coaster 101 podcast.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Absolutely. And also, not to be left out, Grant Sizemore, the other co-president of TEA at UNC. So, Grant, welcome to the Coaster 101 podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So happy to be here.
We're thrilled. I'm thrilled to have you guys on. And again, like I said at the very beginning of the show, you started a TEA chapter, which again, we were talking before we started recording. I don't even know if they existed when I was in school. They probably did. And, in Chapel Hill, it's not necessarily a hotbed for themed entertainment. I know you guys have, talked to some alums who are in the industry and built some connections that way. I want to start with both of you, and Jax, I'll bring you in first. What's your interest in the industry? How did you kind of become first interested in this crazy industry that we all enjoy so much?
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome industry in the first place, but I grew up in Southern California. I had Knott's Berry Farm, Disney, Universal, Six Flags, some big parks out there, and I grew up kind of going to those parks, and it was kind of awesome to be able to grow up with those amazing parks. And I kind of just found Disney Imagineering, Universal Creative to be so like awesome, and I just wanted to have that career in mind in the future. I worked in media. I did social media work. I have an account that called That Theme Park Kid on social media, where I create content for businesses and entertainment companies. But growing up in that media culture and just in that area was just amazing. But basically, when I found out I was going to Chapel Hill, I looked at Carolina for like an entertainment company like that because I knew there was a TEA organization, some other clubs at other campuses, and there was nothing like it. So I looked at that and I was like interested in that field. And I knew I wanted to create something like that at Carolina. And I mean, that was eventually came true of TEA at UNC. But basically, I knew I always wanted to do this. I grew up going to the parks, and I'm just so glad to actually be sort of in this industry now and exploring my interest.
I love it. And then you found Grant, but Grant, same question. How did you kind of first get into the whole themed entertainment space?
Yeah. So I sort of go back to second grade. I started performing in theater as an actor, singer, dancer, the triple threat in musicals. And honestly, I did that pretty much every single month of the year, all the way through, I would say, middle school up until COVID. And then that's when I feel like I took a little bit of a pivot. I wanted to reevaluate what I was really interested in. I always wanted to stay within entertainment though. So I found video production as being really enjoyable. I used to make little YouTube videos and play around in those ways. And that's when I started just sort of seeing more about this thing called projection mapping. So now I go to school for projection mapping and design, and that's what I am really excited about for the future. I also have done a lot of mascot work and puppeteering, and that's what I still do on the side as well. So that love for theater and entertainment grew into a newfound love for projections and bringing video and entertainment together. And like similar to Jax, I grew up in the theme parks. My family is actually DVC members, and so we would go pretty regularly every single year. So it was this thing that just sort of sparked this love, magic, passion, and now being in college, I get to really make those dreams come true.
I love it. And Carolina is a place that prides itself on its number of student organizations. I remember when I was in school, I think the number was somewhere like 700 student organizations, all student run. They market it basically as if there is if there's something you're interested, there's likely an organization for it. But Jax, as you mentioned, something like this didn't exist at UNC. How did the two of you kind of connect to kind of co-found this group?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I looked for other campuses and universities, and I found this club, but UNC had nothing like it. So when I went to Epic Universe, I grew a found passion for this club, and I started doing research. And I talked to some of the TEA members and the leaders of that group, and I found out how to apply and make a club. But I also needed a co-president or vice president, and I found Grant. And we started working together, and we got this club off the ground. We got it started. I think we officially started in October, got it published, and then we officially started during the spring semester. And it's grown to be an amazing thing. We're just so glad to found this club. And I mean, it's the only theme entertainment like organization on campus. Nothing's like it. So we're super excited to be the one and only and help these students out.
I love it. How'd you guys find each other?
I believe just LinkedIn. I think actually, yeah, LinkedIn's a great place to connect with stuff, especially for UNC, I think. But I think I was searching. I honestly don't know how I found you, Grant, but I think I was just sort of looking around and I just found you as I searched up theme entertainment and you popped up. And I think that's how I fully made that connection.
Yeah, I think that was exactly how it was. I honestly remember the day I was at the beach and I got a text from you and you were like, I have this idea I would like to start. It's for this club for TEA at UNC. And I was like, I'm so down. That's so exciting and interesting. And actually, I'd like to add something really cool about this club and when we got it started. Yeah, Andrew, you had said that there were about 600 or 700 clubs at the time. Actually, one of my friends was able to create the 1000th club at Carolina, the same cycle as us. So it's really grown and expanded, and it's exciting that themed entertainment is one of those in the mix.
So there's 1,000 student organizations at Carolina, from everything from, political organizations, student government, ultimate frisbee clubs. But you guys in themed entertainment, you've definitely found your niche. What was the process of creating a student organization? You have to, again, I never founded one when I was in school. So do you have to have like a faculty advisor? Do you have to have a charter? Do you have to have rules? Like, what do you guys have to have a student organization? Do you have to have a certain number of members, or could it be like Grant and Jax go to theme parks and that's TEA?
Yeah,
that's a good question. You want to go ahead, Grant?
Sure. So throughout the process, it took about probably 4 or 5 months to officially get everything together, but honestly, it could have been quite a bit faster. We definitely wanted to make sure that TEA, the Themed Entertainment Association, was really in tune with what we were doing on the university level. And so something cool about what we have done with our organization is that I am the co-president on the side of more of the external relations with the Themed Entertainment Association specifically, and Jax is more of the side of the on-campus relations. So on the TEA side, there was a really quick and easy process, which makes it super nice for students where just submit a form, was able to get everything approved very quickly. And then on the university side, we did have to have a university advisor, and I was able to um, ask one of my previous professors, Tao Wang, to be our advisor, and he agreed to it and was super excited about this opportunity. And so we have been able to work with him quite a bit about just sort of getting everything started. And then lastly, we did have to have a treasurer on the university side. So Alex Batista is our wonderful treasurer. And so all three of us, and then including Tao, was able to really create this. We've had everything, including the bylaws and the entire constitution for our organization, including our mission statement and all of the breakdown of our roles and how those work together. So once we got that finished, we were officially approved in October of 2025.
What's Tao teach?
He teaches a few classes. He teaches projection mapping and design, and then the lighting design principles class, as well as the terrible acronym, but it's Drama 666 for media and performance. And I actually just took that class as well. And so he really stretches the gamut of exploring projections and lighting technology and bringing that into a theater space.
TEA would be something totally in his wheelhouse, it seems like.
For sure. For
I
sure.
love
That's kind of why we chose him as well.
Makes sense. And Jax, kind of on the student side, how are you guys like going to market? How are you getting students? How many students are part of the organization right now?
Yeah, so marketing was a big part of our process because you need to get your name out there a little bit. We use social media a lot. We have over 250 followers in the first semester. It was a great process of that. As of right now, we have around 80 student members, a lot of active ones as well, and it's been amazing to have that like level of kind of guarantee of like amount of students we have. We're trying to build that process as we go. But social media was a big factor of how we advertise. We did some activities like where we had like Soul Fest where you're able to like promote your club a little bit, and it was a fun process, like just meeting everybody and having like showing off what we have to offer exactly. Social media was a big factor. We did a lot of like small meetings, also like fun posts of us like, here's like, do you like this? Then you might like TEA stuff that's like fun and creative and gets our name out there in a positive and fun light.
I love it. And then starting in the spring, you guys, how often are you meeting? Is like bi-weekly, once a week, once a month? What are we talking frequency here?
It's about once a week. Sometimes we might push because we have a bigger event coming, but otherwise it's once a week.
Okay. And these meetings, I know you've had some guest speakers, actually a UNC alum who works in the industry.
Yes. Cameron Kania was our industry speaker, and he is actually my mentor. And so we reached out to him, and he was super interested as well. So yeah, we have had a range of like workshops and industry speakers come in. Of course, we also have the off-campus trips as well that get to bring our members together.
And you guys went to King's Dominion?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me about
It was a lot of fun.
Tell me about the King's Dominion trip. Like, I know there was 20 or so of you who went. What went on, and what did you learn on that trip? Anything that related to what you're trying to kind of instill and develop an interest in your fellow students?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a process. It was definitely a trial and error process as our first park trip, really. I believe we had, remind me, Grant, was it 16 students?
Yeah, it was like 16 or 17.
It was around there. It was a lot of kids. So we had to figure out the transportation, the ticketing, the food. There was a lot of like trial and error and figuring out how we needed to accomplish what we needed to accomplish. But it ended up being a blast. It was really cold. It was sort of windy, but everything was open and we were able to explore and have a lot of fun. King's Dominion welcomed us also cold, like was very warm to us, and it was a lot of fun. It just was fun and going on the attractions, seeing that atmosphere, and also the smiles on our students' faces as well.
I'm a coaster guy. I gotta ask, what's your favorite coaster at King's Dominion?
Ooh, I really like Rapterra.
Okay.
Big fan of it. I love wing coasters. I've been on the one in Dollywood, some of the ones in California as well. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. Grant?
Yeah, for me, that was my first time going to King's Dominion, and so I remember Jax being like, "Rapterra is really good. You're gonna really like it." So that was honestly my favorite too. So it was fun to even get to experience a new park that I haven't been to before.
Yep. I love King's Dominion. It's what, 3 hours from you guys in Chapel Hill? Not even?
Yes.
Just shoot up 85 to 95 or go straight to 95, however you want to do it. But like they've got a great lineup there. Like, you've got Twisted Timbers, you've got Pantherian, you've got Rapterra now. But then you've got something like Grizzly, which has got a lot of TLC in recent years and was riding when I was there last year for the ACE SpringCon, American Coaster Enthusiasts. The rides I had on Grizzly were like borderline life-changing for my opinion of that ride. And like, again, Twisted Timbers, obviously, I love that one. Dominator's really good. There's a lot to love about King's Dominion. I want to know, though, when you're planning this trip, how did you decide to go to King's Dominion versus like a Busch Gardens or a Carowinds?
One of our big things that we had to consider was the cost. Honestly, like as a student organization that just got founded, we did have to sort of vouch for ourselves about why the university, like why we sort of deserve to get a little bit of university funding. UNC is awesome about giving organizations funding for the semester and throughout the year to fun experiences like this. And so we did have to sit down and sort of decide what was the most cost-effective option and also sort of just what was the closest for us. So at this time, like we didn't know how many people would come to an experience like this. And I remember at Soulfest, our big pitch was like, do you like roller coasters? Do you like theme parks? And that did draw a lot of people in. And that is what we did sort of find as being a hook for students at UNC, because of course, like you said, the industry is not really around this area a whole lot. So sort of exposing students to the possibilities of themed entertainment was a big one that we sort of had to work with for the first time. So when planning out this trip, King's Dominion seemed to be the best option for us.
That works. I get it. Like, again, sometimes you need a proof of concept, right? You've got to say, this is why we're doing it. This is how it works. We're not just going to go, you're not sponsoring us to just go to King's Dominion for the day. Like, we're going to learn, we're going to immerse ourselves in the themed environment, all that good stuff. As the summer kind of winds down and you guys head into the fall semester, you mentioned you had to reapply as a student organization. I'm hoping the process will take, not as long this time. But, what can UNC students, what can they expect in the fall semester from TEA at UNC?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of planning, making sure this next semester is awesome. What we missed the NC State Fair, which we really want to go to this semester, and we also missed the haunt season. We missed that, and I really want to get to some haunts and get some behind the scenes tours and go experience that atmosphere, because that's part of the industry that I absolutely love. I've worked in the haunt industry for almost 11 years of my life, but we're looking at haunts right now, seeing which ones are best to choose from, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, you worked in the haunt? You're like 20 years old. How have you worked in the haunt industry for 11 years? Tell me about this.
I've been a scare actor since I was 7 years old. I've been a scare actor and slider since I was 11 years old. I've worked in haunt design. I've worked with some amazing haunts. Shout out to the 13th Acre, which I've worked for over 5 years. I absolutely love that. Love the haunt industry. Love scaring people and making people smile as well.
I gotta put you in touch with Michael Dutterer from Coasters, Haunts, and Dark Rides. He would love that story.
Yes.
And they do this thing on TikTok where it's like they call it Talking Parks with Friends. I think we'll talk after this. We're gonna make this work. Grant, do you have any other, like, other than the projection mapping? Have you ever been a scare actor, like, since you were 6? Like, what's happening here?
I did work on a haunted trail once. I was the headless horseman in the Adventure of Sleepy Hollow in Boone, North Carolina. And so that was a really cool experience for me too. The haunt industry is really cool and it's very unique, but that was a really fun role to just be cooped up in this house for hours on end and get to bring in more people and then scare them and really make their whole night.
For sure. All right, so when we talked to Carowinds, Jax, you're getting ready to start your junior year. Grant, you're getting ready to start sophomore year. Did I flip that around?
Opposite, yeah.
Flipped it.
I tried, guys. I tried. I had a 50-50
You're doing
shot.
so good.
All right, so, what's the end goal here? Obviously, there are dreams of working in themed entertainment. If you could have any role in any, I feel like the cliche thing, I feel like I told you guys was, when I was a lot younger, I wanted to be a roller coaster designer. Then got to high school, realized I sucked at math and I sucked at science. And so it was like, okay, gonna be a fan, gonna figure out another way to kind of tangentially be involved with this industry. But for you guys, what's the end goal here? What's your dream job after you graduate from Carolina? Hopefully there's a couple more sports national championships that you get to see during your time there. But after that, what's your dream goal? And Grant, I'll start with you.
Yes. I honestly think about this a lot. And for me, my dream job is to create a nighttime spectacular in one of the theme parks somewhere around the world that they inspire me so much. One thing I really love a lot about nighttime spectaculars in particular is how they offer a time for families and friends to come together and share a moment without the worry of everything else going on around them. And they take your breath away. They give you a sense of awe and wonder and imagination, and you get to see some of the prettiest visuals out there. Now they're creating shows with fireworks and hydro effects and all sorts of different things that combine to be one singular show. And so to be able to one day build one of those experiences and design it or even direct it would be a dream come true.
Love that. Jax, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to my sophomore year, which means I have a little bit less time than freshman year, so I'm trying to decide and figure that out. But currently, I'm a business administration major with a minor in advertising and public relations. My whole end goal is to work for a big entertainment company such as Universal, Disney, Six Flags, even a manufacturer company, but I want to work in marketing for them and social media work, advertising, and create content for them. That's my end goal.
I love it. Well, the good news is, I know for a fact there are a lot of people in the industry who listen to this show because they tell me that. So you guys are sounding great so far. So we're gonna make this happen. I'm gonna will it into existence. I promise. Again, I got 2 years and 1 year after whatever math.
Yeah.
I told you guys I was not good at math.
Actually, we have the very similar story. I wanted to be a roller coaster engineer and designer and all the engineering math stuff, but then I took physics in high school, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe not so much for me. No. Very similar.
I'm very good at Roller Coaster Tycoon, and that's what it's going to have to be. Grant, you mentioned nighttime spectaculars, and I want to this is going to be the segue. Last night, Carowinds had a little bit of a nighttime spectacular of their own as Rip Roarin Falls went vertical. And a couple weeks ago, you guys had the opportunity, along with me, I was there, to attend the announcement for Rip Roarin Falls at Carowinds, a I've been doing this for, again, far too long. This is year 13 with Coaster 101 for me right now. Back when you guys were like 7 and 8 years old, which again, I'm going to turn to dust. It's fine. But this was a first media event for you guys. I want to know kind of what were your initial thoughts going in? I know you guys were at the park the weekend prior, because I saw the TEA at UNC stuff that you guys were putting out, but getting to go and kind of experience the media event, what were your thoughts going into it, Jax?
Yeah, I mean, we were very excited to get that invite and be able to experience something like that on that scale. I mean, I've loved Carowinds since about my freshman year of high school. I moved here from California then, but it's an amazing park. And once we had that exciting announcement that something big is coming, I was pumped. And I drove down from Wilmington, North Carolina to go to Carowinds. It's a little bit of a drive, but when I got there, and it was a whole other atmosphere there. Walking into Harmony Hall and seeing all those people, all the media, all the news companies, it was something awesome. And that big crate in the middle was like so awesome. But when we had that announcement, I sort of knew it was gonna be a water ride. Actually, I fully knew it was gonna be a water ride when I walked into that. But getting a water ride of that scale, though, I mean, that's just exciting. I think we're both really excited for that.
Yeah, they talked about it the year prior as a record-breaking water ride was coming this year. Obviously, it got delayed a year through everything that's happening. So we knew it was a water ride. But you're right, the scale, the record-breaking, the triple record breaker, it's amazing. But Grant, same question. This is an opportunity for you. What's going through your head as you're walking into Carowinds that day?
Well, one big thing was just what is coming. And like we have all said, like we sort of had an idea that it was going to be a water ride. And Jax and I, the week prior, we did stop by the original crate over in that section of the park, and we got to sort of look, and we did think about like what we were possibly like what was coming, but then finding out that we were being invited to go to the media day and see what was being announced was super exciting. So like when we walked in the front gates, like we were already meeting people and got to just see all the excitement running around the area. And honestly, like the passion people have for Carowinds and the hope for the future was really exciting and inspiring to experience. So going into that day was really new and exciting to get to experience for the first time.
Is there anything that happened at the event that kind of like blew your mind, like blew you away? Like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. I know I was standing, we were kind of in the same vicinity, and they brought the maintenance workers over, and they unscrewed the crate, and the crate all like came apart to reveal the ride vehicle. I thought that was pretty cool. But was there anything that you guys saw that you were like, what is happening?
When I first saw that video, I think I looked at Grant and my jaw was open. Like it was just seeing like that scale, breaking 3 records of that like majority, it was insane to me. And I looked at it was a very pretty video. It was kind of exciting to see, and it just made you like, holy cow, this is coming to my home park. It was just awesome.
Yeah. Grant?
Yeah. The digital sim that they created for that ride and the POV that we got to see really solidified for an audience to understand what was coming. And I think that it was very well designed to offer a very authentic hype for the ride that like sometimes just images and art that are concepts sometimes maybe feel a little bit different than what the outcome becomes. But I think the video really put into perspective what this ride is going to be. So getting to see that firsthand and just seeing the reactions on everyone's faces was really exciting to see. And it honestly blew my mind to be able to really experience what the ride was for the first time as the first people in the world.
Yep. And then we got to, being part of the media day, you guys had the opportunity. I saw you chatting with David Chesney, who was on the podcast last week. He is the engineer for Whitewater who designed the attraction. You talked a little bit with Ken Parks, who's with Six Flags Corporate Design. What's something you learned from those guys when you were talking to them?
I remember speaking with Ken Parks, the VP of Creative Development, and we were talking about the story and the development of the story. And I'd asked a question about how it this ride was designed with the Carolinas in mind, and to hear the appreciation for this area and to really bring back the history of Carowinds itself from when it first opened to what the Carolinas really developed from the very start of when the Carolinas were founded. It was really interesting to hear how this was really considered and thought a lot about. And I think it really goes to show the commitment that Carowinds is making to always make this park true to its location. And it's honestly really different from other parks you visit because the Carolinas are a special place. And growing up in North Carolina, it's really cool to see and experience rides and attractions that relate to this area specifically. And I know like the Charlotte Hornets and that sort of being tied in with the Fury and the aeronautical landing area and how the first flight was taken off here. It really, there's a lot of appreciation for the Carolinas, and it's exciting to hear his perspective about how this ride and attraction was designed.
Yeah. Even the like the past attractions, you had White Lightning, which is a nickname for moonshine. You had Thunder Road, which was the road that the moonshiners took. Like all of these things that we have at Carowinds, it truly is the place where the Carolinas come together. They've got, you walk into the park, you've got the Carolina blue North Carolina state line, you've got the Palmetto South Carolina flag blue on the South Carolina side. It's really cool. And I, like you, Grant, I didn't fully grow up in North Carolina. I moved back when I was like 10 years old. I lived in South Florida for a number of years. And, I do think Carowinds does a great job honoring their history, honoring their heritage. I haven't looked at the stats. I'm sure timber and logging is some sort of export. I definitely know Christmas trees are a big part of, you can't really do a year-round Christmas tree themed attraction. So I think we've got the Holes Brothers Sawmill as our, kind of, story within a story. So I think Carowinds done a great job with that. Obviously, after we talked to the important people, as it were, we got to go out and you got to see the construction site firsthand. Again, at that point, it was, there was a lot of dirt. I'm going to be perfectly transparent and honest, but that's how land clearing starts. You clear a bunch of stuff for things to happen. Looking out over that site, you can kind of get this new angle of Fury. But after seeing the concept art, what was it like for you guys to be able to visualize, okay, in a number of months, this is going to look completely different? Jax, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was really cool, like getting those outfits in the first place, like the hard hat and the vest. I mean, it was awesome to have that experience and also get photos of it too. But when we got to the dirt site and on the construction site, we saw that area. I mean, that's a massive plot of land, and they have a lot of room to work with. I mean, they're gonna have to worry about the trees, like how they're gonna do the plumbing. But I mean, they went vertical yesterday, and I saw that video. I mean, that their starting process on that big plot of land, which is supposed to be amazing attraction. Just seeing how they're working, also hearing the process of what it took to clear that area, because I've been watching it from Fury every time I ride it, seeing how like the trees are cleared and how it was like, what was the original ride there? It was
Rip Roarin Rapids, which
Rip Roarin Rapids
said earlier in the podcast. Like I said the wrong name because there was Splashwater or Whitewater Falls, which was back there where Copperhead is now, and then there was Rip Roarin Rapids, and they've combined them together now.
Yeah, but just seeing that area just being demolished and then now you have something to build off, it's super cool to see.
Grant, what you think?
I would say that it really sort of changes the scale of, especially the Fury for me. Like being able to walk up closer to like the entire lift hill for the Fury was honestly like really cool, and it put a lot of perspective in how huge these attractions are. And so already going to imagine that this ride for Rip Roarin Falls is going to span 100 some feet in the air is going to be massive. So standing on that ground, being able to think about this is going to be insanely tall was really exciting to be able to experience firsthand again. That something that honestly just like going and watching it from a distance is not going to show you, but being there in the moment on the dirt was super cool to see.
Yeah, and like it was when I was talking to David Chesney last week, which if you're listening now, if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to it. It was a really good interview. We got to talk about David's like intro into the industry. Like he built a coaster in his backyard when he was a teenager. So he's a lot better at physics than both Jax and I. So it's great. But the thing I kind of compared with him is like, I'm not a huge water ride person, but I've been to Disney a number of times, and Splash Mountain, right? You look at Splash Mountain from ground level, it looks massive. And the drop on Splash Mountain is like 55, 60 feet max.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got another 4-story building on top of Splash Mountain, and that's going to be your drop at Carowinds. It's insane.
It's
Wild.
crazy.
And you've got that, and there will be an angle, presumably, where you're able to photograph the lift hill of Fury, the 325-foot lift hill, and the 100-foot drop, and the perspective on that is going to be two of the tallest and fastest attractions of their kind in the world, literally right next to each other. It's pretty
I feel like
fantastic.
that area of the park already breaks like so many records. I mean, it's just right there too. You have that amazing, oh my gosh, Rip Roarin Falls that breaks 3 records, and you have Fury right there. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's an amazing extension of the park.
Best steel coaster in the world 10 years in a row now. Like,
Crazy.
and like this could win, best new water ride, best new attraction. I mean, next year's going to be a great year for attractions, obviously. But, I think best new water ride I feel like it's a lock. But I'm biased. Don't.
Any thoughts on that night flight at Dollywood?
I think it's going to open. It'll open this August, I think is what they said, and I think that'll be very exciting. I'm very I want to get over there and ride it. But I think first of its kind in the U.S. is very cool. That said, it doesn't have a 100-foot drop. It doesn't have a 45-foot reverse camelback. And the other record in there that I've already forgotten the height of, but it's like a 34-inch camelback hump in reverse, or 34 foot. 34 inches is not very tall at all. But I think, this is going to transform that area of the park. Is there anything else that you guys learned or saw when you were there at Media Day?
We learned a lot about the media culture, I think a lot. I mean, we talked to news crews. I believe Charlotte Observer, we talked to them. We talked to, a lot of people, even you, Coasters101, but just that atmosphere of like seeing everyone like having their cameras out and like looking at the, like being the first to post something. I mean, that's a really cool atmosphere to be a part of.
Yeah, it's always fun being first and getting to experience it. And I mean, I know I had the Twitter fingers were flying because I was like, everyone's out here taking video. I'm going to take a quick picture. I'm just going to thumb, and try and hammer this out so quick. So I totally get that piece. Grant, what about you? Something else that you learned or experienced that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I really also appreciated the culture around it and the dedication that so many influencers had to tell the best story possible. As a journalism student myself, like we talk all the time about telling an authentic and a good story. And I could just tell that all these creators are really wanting to make a difference and show the world what is coming. And so it was very fun to just talk with them, get to experience what this is from a very firsthand perspective that I have never experienced before. So it was really inspiring to see how dedicated they were to their work and telling a very impactful story.
Sweet. I love it. Well, I mean, the plan, this is going to open in 2027. We don't have a date yet. We obviously hope the sooner the better, but the plan is TEA UNC is going to take a group trip once it opens, and we're all going to pile in one of those 8-passenger logs and go over the edge of the cliff, right?
Oh,
That's
for
the goal,
sure.
yeah.
We want to definitely offer that experience for our students and our members because the exciting thing that we always hope and we talk a lot about doing is that through this organization, we are affiliated with TEA, but like we are a separate organization and we don't really speak for them. But we, from a UNC TEA perspective, we always want to offer our members a fun and exclusive experience that they wouldn't normally probably be able to have otherwise with a really cool group of friends. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to go as a whole group together and see it and experience that ride firsthand.
Bam. Well, let me know when you guys come over. We'll make this happen, or if I'm in Chapel Hill, I'll get over to you guys. I'm not as cool as the forgive me, remind me his name, the guy who you guys spoke to, the UNC alum.
Cameron.
Yeah, I don't have as cool of a job as Cameron does, but you know, if you guys ever want somebody to talk about the pseudo media side of being a roller coaster journalist, I'm happy to, volunteer my services and time.
And we would love to have you. That'd be
please.
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
like something really cool I'd like to thank Coasters101 for is being our first sponsor of you were able to sponsor our trip to King's Dominion, and that's super awesome. So thank you so much for that and your graciousness for just supporting other students like ourselves.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely, guys. I'm happy to, again, open any doors because, again, 16 years ago, this didn't exist. And if it did, maybe maybe I'm working for an amusement park company instead of writing about them. Who knows? But I want nothing but the best for you guys. I'm glad you guys are doing your thing. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join me tonight. This has been a blast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Coaster101 podcast. But make sure you're following us on social media. Actually, hang on. Jax, Grant, I forgot to ask where to follow you guys on social media, where to follow UNC-TEA. Forgive me. Let's start with UNC-TEA, but if you guys want to promote any of your own socials, I'm happy to do that too.
Yeah, we're on Instagram at TEA_UNC. We also have a website. It's sites.google.com/views/TEA on UNC. And those are probably the best ways to reach us. We also have a LinkedIn. It's just the full Theme Entertainment Association at UNC's-Chapel Hill.
Perfect. Love that. And then, Jax, you mentioned your theme park kid channel.
Yeah, I have a theme park account where I post content such as businesses and entertainment companies. That is at that theme park kid.
Perfect. Grant, anything you want to promote?
I would say probably the best way to sort of see what I produce, and you can also contact me from there, is my website portfolio. It's grantsizemore.com. So that's probably the best place to find me.
I love it. And Grant, I want to give a real quick shout out. You had a project, it was like a one-man show I think it was like a end of a semester project. Amazing, by the way. Crushed it. So go check that out as well. Okay. After you follow TEA at UNC on all the channels, you go follow Jax's theme park kit account, you go to Grant's website and you watch his final project and his projection mapping work. Then Coaster101.com, also at Coaster101, anywhere you get social media. Something new. If you're listening to this podcast and you wanted to see me talk to Jax and Grant, this is on our YouTube channel now, allegedly. We're going to see. I hope it is. But that's, you go to YouTube, type in Coaster101, you will find it. It should be there. There should be a video version of this podcast. We are leveling up in 2026, 6 whole years after starting this podcast. We're finally on video. So if you want to see me talk to people, go check it out on our YouTube channel. But if you're also listening, make sure you're liking, rating, reviewing, subscribing, smashing that follow button, as the kids say. Do the kids still say that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Great. I'm not that old. Yeah, I am, but it's fine. But yeah, tell a friend, because we're going to keep bringing on great guests like Grant and Jax and folks inside the industry. So make sure you're doing that. Coaster101.com/merch for the latest and greatest Coaster 101 merchandise. And a huge thank you, as always, to Justin Mabry for our theme music, which, if I can figure this out, should play at the end of this YouTube video. But it's definitely going to play at the end of the podcast. So, anyway, Jax, Grant, thank you guys so much for joining me on the Coaster 101 podcast. And we will talk to y'all again soon. See ya.